Okay, everybody, this is home stretch. This week we are finishing the Ma'amar Heichalzu. It's going to put us in the right frame of mind for Tisha B'Av, for the 9 days. 9 days starts this coming Friday, is the first of Av. And so this is actually perfect timing to be able to develop the proper attitude and skills, tools to be able to reduce elements of sinat chinam, baseless hatred. So chapter 29. Ukmo harav kodem shechafetz lahashpia seichel v'chochmo letamido. Just like a teacher, a rabbi who wants to give over an idea of his own intellect to his student, sha'az me'ir etzlo or sichlo v'chochmato k'moshu mitzad atzmo. That before the teacher wants to give over the information, the wisdom which exists within the teacher is the pure wisdom. There's no tzimtzum, right? The understanding that a person has within themselves before they give it over, there's no need for tzimtzum, no need for concealment, right? The concealment, the tzimtzum, is only necessary when you want to go to the next step, and that is to give it over. But it exists in your own brain, there's no tzimtzum. Or to put it crudely, right? Albert Einstein, before he teaches the theory of relativity to me, he doesn't have to dumb it down. In his own brain, there's no tzimtzum necessary because the idea is in its pure essence. So too as using that as a metaphor. When a Kodesh Baruch Hu, before he decided to create, there's no such thing as tzimtzum. Tzimtzum is not relevant before a Kodesh Baruch Hu decided to create. That there was the revelation of the essential light of infinity in its essence before there arose in Hashem's will to create the cosmos. And therefore, whenever there is an element of tzimtzum, of the concealment, and of the revelation, remember those two modalities. You always have these modalities. There's the concealment, and then the revelation. We talked about the idea of the nikudah, the dot, and the kav, and the line. And there's always that kind of, the way we talked about it was using these terms of thesis, antithesis, synthesis. You always have this flowing through. It's not that tzimtzum is a one-time act and then it's all hit pashtut. It's all the spreading out of revelation. It's not true. That as you go through each series of more and more creation, there are these ebbs and flows, or dots and lines, nikudah and kav, or concealment and revelation, of concealment, revelation, concealment, revelation, concealment, revelation. That's the kind of the heartbeat, as it were, of the process of creation. Beautiful. Klalu fratu klal. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And we're going to say that just in a second when we say the Yid Gimel Midot Shator Nidresh Behem, the 13 ways Torah is interpreted. So just so that the those who are out in digital land can understand what Dr. Koff just said, that you have the klalu fratu klal, that klal, the idea of a generality, that's actually an idea of hiddenness, right? It's the kind of the concept in its essential oneness without details. That's called klal in Hebrew. Then prat means specificity, details. That's like the letter hey, right? Klal is the letter yud, and then prat is the letter hey of Hashem's name. It's the detailed analytical aspect. So those two aspects, the dot and the line, the klal and the prat, right? The generality and the specificity, the concealment and the revelation. These are all ways of saying the same thing. So all of those things, right? Shavin hein mamash b'mitat or atzmi dein sof. They are completely equal, even though they're completely different, right? When we superficially, and by the way, there are people like this. I think maybe Dr. Koff can make a new psychological sort of typology, system of typology. There are klal people and prat people. And people, the truth of the matter is we do use those kinds of ways of thinking. For instance, we talk about left brain people, right brain people. I would say artists to a certain extent maybe are klal type people. They sort of like there's kind of this intuitive grasping of the whole. Wording. And then there are the prat type people. I'm not sure which kind of person just walked in. Is this a klal or a prat? What do you say, Larry?
She was a prat. She was all for the details.
All for the details. Okay. So that's what she agrees. I just it could put some marital discord there. So
All right.
I like details, yeah.
So we have people like can't stand details, and we have people who thrive on details. We can't stand. There are people who can't stand seeing the big picture, right? And there are people who only want to see the big picture. So that's klal ufrat, right? Or concealment and revelation, or yud and hey, or dot and line. These are all the ways of saying the same thing. But the point that the Rebbe is making here is that all of those, even though they seem like diametrically opposed, you know, left brain people, right brain people, dot people, line people, generality people, detail people, all of that is, even though they seem like polar opposites, in fact, when it comes to Ein Sof, the essence, the very source of creation, they're all one.
Yeah.
It's all one. When it comes to Ein Sof, the source, because remember, before Hashem created, those concepts were irrelevant. Before Hashem created, when Hashem was all by himself, as it were, right? The only thing that existed was Ein Sof. So even though ultimately there flows out from Hashem these two modalities of the dot and the line, the concealment and the revelation, the yud and the hey, etc. But before all that came about, when Hashem was just by himself, there was only Hashem. So those concepts were utterly equal, right? Sort of implicit within the very essence of Hashem, of Ein Sof. That when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's essence, that even revelation is or hiddenness, right? Everything, even hiddenness, is revelation from compared to God's essence, right? The from our perspective, the notion of tzimtzum is concealment. Right, but from Hashem's perspective, the tzimtzum is revelation. It's already one step further out, beyond from Hashem's essence. It's part of the revelatory process. The hiddenness is part of, and we can use the example of a teacher. To reveal, to teach, requires hiding. You cannot overwhelm the student. So the very process of saying, how can I conceal enough? How can I bring this down? Even though it's a hiding, it's actually a revealing. It's a hiding necessary for the revealing. So and also the revealing is called hiddenness, because everything relative to Hashem's essence is all one. And that's what it means in Tehillim when we say that before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? That light and dark are equal. That to us, light over there, dark over there, polar opposites. I'm in conflict, positive and minus. No, when it comes to Ein Sof, it's all the same. And also also in Tehillim, right? Darkness doesn't darken, because it's all just oneness relative to the source. That even darkness, which is concealment, is not called darkness and concealment with respect to the light of the essence of Ein Sof. So too, the revelation comes after the concealment, right? The kav, the line. Shinikra or it's also called sometimes light. Gamhulo nikra or bigilui. It's also not really called light in a state of revelation relative to essence. Ukamamar or tzach. Ukam koktenim et atzmo v'lazot atzmut or in sof shalamal b'chinat helam v'gilui misham nimshach dafka itchalufi kaprut shtemi hamarigot. Now we want to know, how do we create unity? When we look at the world and we see plus minus, polar opposites in tension. We look at the world, we see darkness and light in tension. In tension, not intention. In tension, right? Tension, thank you, with each other. When we look at the line and the dot, in tension. Or we look at Chokhmah Bina, in tension. We look at left brain people, right brain people, in tension. We look at Democrats, Republicans. Well, I don't know. I don't want to go there. Okay, but right? So that's only when we're not going back enough in the creative process. Because if we had Ein Sof going back for the creative process, then everything is the same. Even Democrats and Republicans are the same. That from the hiddenness is the revelation, from the revelation is hiddenness. Because when it comes to essence, further back in the creative process, darkness and light are the same. They're completely equal. Dot line, equal. Positive, negative, equal. Right brain, left brain, equal. Republicans, Democrats, equal.
No.
All the same. I knew that would push you to your limit there of equality.
This sounds like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? Is this where Zen came from?
This is how the Yud Hey of Hashem's name become oneness. That the dot of the Yud comes to a state of revelation in the letter Hey. And then from the Hey, there goes back to concealment. Remember we talked about how the generality that comes from the analytical, but it's a more sophisticated generality, it's a generality of greater appreciation, right? You listen to Beethoven's Ninth. Oh, that was great. Then you take the music appreciation course. That's even greater. And then you go to the concert, you got to press delete because, right? So you go back to generality so you can appreciate it, but you appreciate it on a deeper level, all those ideas we talked about before. That's what Sefer Yitzirah talked about, where he talked about you should Bina eyes Chokhmah and Chokhmah eyes Bina, the unity between the two. V'chein hitkalalut, the Chokhmah Bina zeh im zeh, the synthesis between Chokhmah and Bina. How can the Yud Hey unite? How can the Democratic Republicans unite? How can the dot and the line unite? How can left brain and right brain unite? Through or Ha'atzmi de Ein Sof. You will hear this in our political season coming up. You will see politicians standing up there who will say that unity can be brought about through Or Ha'atzmi de Ein Sof, through the essential light of the Ein Sof, of the infinite.
They say that, I'm voting for them.
You turn on to Fox News, you will hear this. Ulamala me'helem v'chinat helem v'gilui, because that light is above the light of difference, above the light of polar opposites. It's that divine light of infinity which brings about the unity of those things which seem polar opposites. And from that higher light comes the unity. Now, what we're going to see tomorrow is, well, this sounds amazing. So what do? We have to somehow learn how to schlep down. That is a special Kabbalistic term, schlepping down. Schlepping down the Or Ha'atzmut Ein Sof, the essential light of Ein Sof. How do we do that? Tomorrow we're going to find out that there's something concrete we can do, so abstract, as they've just told us. What can we do concrete to bring down this Or Ein Sof, the light of the infinite, which then will eradicate differences, eradicate polar opposites? There's a practical way to do it. Stay tuned, my fine feathered friends.